the logical thing to do. You don't want to give away your money. You want to hoard your money. You want to keep your money. You want to save your money. You don't want to spend your money. How is it that pastor is asking us in this season to make a sacrificial giving? Because pastor understands something about God. What is it that pastor understands? Pastor understands that you can never outgive God. Pastor understands that when you give, the Lord will not just give back what you have given to him, but he will give more than what you have given to him. Do I have a giver inside here that you're saying, Pastor, I hear you, and I'm not just giving because of God's grace, I'm not just giving because of God's goodness, but I'm giving because of God's glory. For when I think of the goodness of Jesus and all that he has done for me, when I think back of where he has brought me from, when I look back over my life and I think things over, I can truly say that I've been blessed. I got a testimony. Is there somebody inside here today that have a testimony, and you're saying that I lift my hands, and the reason I lift my hands is because I realize that it has been God who kept me through the years. It has been God who watched over me. It wasn't my job, it wasn't my money. The house that I'm living in, it wasn't my job, it wasn't my money. It was a gift from God. Is there somebody inside here that understand that God has been watching over you? And I hear David said, I've been young and now I'm old, and I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging for bread. I'm telling you that when you trust God, God will take care of your need. I wish I had a witness inside here. I'm getting ready to close, but I hear him says, no good thing will he withhold from them who trust him. Is there somebody inside here that have seen the hand of God working tremendously in your life, and you're saying, yes, God, you have been good to me? Have you seen God made a way? Have you seen God open a door? Do I have a witness inside here that you can say, even though your bank account is empty, your cupboard is not empty? Come on. Do I have a witness inside here that even though you're in debt up to your nose, come on somebody, your bills are being paid? Do I have a witness inside here? Well, don't let me preach all by myself. I wish I had some help inside here. And you're saying like the songwriter, well, roll back the curtains of memory now and then. For every time I feel like backsliding, every time I feel like giving up, every time I feel like throwing in the towel, every time I feel like going back, every time I feel like backsliding, when I reflect on everything that God has done for me, I can truly say, God, you have been better. You have been better than good to me. Is there anybody inside here that knows about the grace, that knows about the goodness, that knows about the glory of God? I hear Jesus said, if I be lifted up from this earth, I'll draw all men unto me. Do I have a witness inside here? The glory is for him. The glory is unto him. The glory is as a result of the blessing of God. That's too strong, son. Just keep me a little bit low. The glory is for God. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, God must get glory from my life. I don't give because of what he has done for me or what he has given me, but I give because of who he is. Come on somebody. When I understand the principle that God is the first giver, and if he is the first giver and he gave me life, then it means that with every air that I breathe, every breath that I breathe, my life belongs to him. Do I have somebody inside here that understand what I'm saying to you today, and you're saying, Pastor, now I understand that if my life belongs to him, then my money belongs to him. If my life belongs to him, my children belongs to him. If my life belongs to him, the vehicle I drive belongs to him. If my life belongs to him, my home belongs to him. If my life belongs to him, then everything I have belongs to him. How do you read it, Pastor? I hear Paul says, present your body as a living sacrifice, holy, somebody better help me inside here, and acceptable, which is your reasonable act of worship. Look at your neighbor. Can I tell somebody something? If it is a sacrifice, it is not yours. If you're a sacrifice, then you don't belong to yourself. You belong to God. But you're a living sacrifice. And if I'm a living sacrifice, it means that how I speak and what I say and what I do. I wish I had somebody inside here that understand where I was going. And you're saying, Pastor, I hear you and I understand you well, that I don't belong to me, I belong to Jesus. And because I belong to him, I give everything that I own to him. Giving is a hard matter. Can we be practical inside here? How about giving those extra clothes that you have in your closet that can't fit you? Some of you got fat since COVID. How about giving that extra pair of shoes to your neighbor that can't fit you? You know you don't have use for it, but find somebody in the church. Come on, somebody. Yes, man, we like to hoard our things. We like to keep them, but God is saying in this season, if we will make room for what he has for us. Oh, you don't hear what I'm saying? Ask the widow. And she'll tell you that when Elijah showed up to her, the Bible said that Elijah looked at the woman in her poverty and in her state of nothing. She was about to bake her last meal, and then after she ate it, Sister Georgia, she was going to die. She said, we have no hope, we are going to die. But how many of you know that the prophet has the power to change your destiny? And the prophet shows up. I wish I had somebody inside here. Can I prophesy to somebody today? Can I prophesy destiny to somebody today? Somebody inside here. Lord, you don't hear me. Just sold the last thing that you had in your bank account. The Bible said that the prophet looked at the widow and said, listen, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna bake me one first. And then whatever you have, you're going to share for your son. But how many of you know that the prophet was only setting up her for her destiny, for her blessing? When you obey the prophetic word, God will cause tremendous blessing in your life. Is there anybody inside here that want to see your financial destiny change in this season? Well, why don't you give to God first? Why don't you be a blessing to the prophet first and watch God move in your life? Come on, somebody. There's somebody inside here. You just sold your last amount. You just sold the last, what was left from your paycheck this month. And you're saying, Lord, I don't know how the children are going to manage. I don't know how am I going to get to work. I have no gas in the car. Lord, but I believe that you're Jehovah Jireh. And if somebody understand that if he provided for the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt, the Bible said they did not go hungry, neither were they weary. The sandals and the clothes that they left Egypt with, God kept them in the desert. Can you imagine? You're walking around for 40 years in the same clothes and it doesn't get old, in the same sandal and it doesn't get worn, and you've never worked a day in your life. You're under a cloud. God gave them AC. Come on. The Bible said that by day there was a pillar of cloud. That was natural AC, because in the desert it is very hot during the course of the day, and at night the Lord gave them heat. He caused a fire by night to guide them. That was the heat they needed, because in the night in the desert it can get very cold, and God kept them. Come on somebody. He caused manna to fall from heaven. I don't know if there's somebody inside here and you're saying, Pastor, I hear you. In this season God gonna have to do something that he did for Egypt. It's gonna have to be a manna season for me. Are you willing to trust him? Well, lift your hands and say, yes, I believe that this is going to be a manna season. What do you mean, Pastor? I'm just gonna allow him to sustain me. I'm just gonna allow him to keep me. I'm just gonna allow him to supply all of my needs. How many of you know his riches never runs out? The cattle on the hill belongs to him. Come on somebody. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he founded it upon the waters and established it upon the sea. Who shall ascend into the hills of the Lord? He that hath clean hands and pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, he shall receive blessing. Look at your neighbor and say, blessing. Your season of blessing is now. God is getting ready to bless you like never before. Look at somebody and say, I'm blessed in the city, I'm blessed in the country, I'm blessed in my going out, I'm blessed in my coming in. This is my season of overflow. This is my winning season. This is my season of prosperity. Yes, somebody lift your hands and said, I feel the blessing of God taking me to a higher level. Somebody say, higher, higher, higher. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If he takes care of the sparrows, Jesus said, look at the lilies, look at the sparrows. If he take care of the sparrows and the lizard of the field, he's gonna take care of you. Look at somebody and say, his eyes are on the sparrows. I know. If he watches the sparrows and the lilies, he'll take care of me. Woo! Woo! Somebody worship God. Somebody lift your hands. Somebody lift your hands. Somebody lift your hands and said, this season is my winning season. This season is my overflow season against all odds. Woo. If you look at what you're seeing physically now, you won't believe. Because for some of you, you can't see beyond your current situation. But how many of you know that we do not walk by sight, but by faith? You cannot look at what you see before you now. You have to begin to look at what God has said about your life. And I heard David said, I've been young and now I'm old. I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread. I hear David said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. He restored my soul. He restored my soul. He restored my soul. For his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, For thou art, look at your neighbor. For thou art, for thou art, for thou art, for thou art with me. Thy rod, thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence, 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 in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup running over. Surely goodness, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me. Look at your neighbor and say, surely. Goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days